Championship Series on NFHS Network. I'm Julia Osbrook, and we're here on a warm but beautiful Saturday, about 78 degrees with a little clouds coming over. We're at NC State's Dale Field, Game 2 of the South Caldwell Schools. And your Jack Britt Buccaneers of Fayetteville. The Buccaneers took Game 1 of the series last night, and it was a close one, as Jack Britt's offense came alive in the top of the 7th to put 3 on the board and slide by with a 3-2 win. It'll be up to the Spartans to win Game 2 to force a third game in this series. But let's get to our lineups. So first, for your visiting Spartans of South Caldwell, starting off in the leadoff spot will be Jasmine Hall. Coming up in the number 2 spot, Sydney Combs, followed by Sierra Hansen, Reagan Weisner in the cleanup spot, Graceland Green following her, Addison Blair as the DP, Katie Wright, followed by Anna King, Logan Keller, and Callan Combs in the flex position. Here we are in Game 2 as Hall steps up to start off. We have Myrtle on the mound again for Game 2 for the Bucks, and we're underway here in Game 2 of the 4A State Championship Series. Myrtle delivering a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Was very successful last night in only allowing those 2 runs. Found herself getting out of a lot of jams. And that one be grounded to the shortstop, bobbled a little bit, and she can't make the play. Hall's aboard safely. Like Reagan Shepard over there at short, couldn't handle the hop, and Hall's aboard, and Caldwell has one. Bringing up Sydney Combs to the plate. Pulls back a bunt for ball 1. Combs was 0 for 4 last night, but batting .500 on the year coming into the series. So it's definitely due for a hit.
Early on yesterday, both teams got runners in scoring position in the early innings, and both of them failed to get runs across and left a lot of runners on base early yesterday.
Squares to bunt, fouls that off for strike 1. Pitch is delivered. It's a ball outside, moving the count to 2-1. Myrtle in last night's game gave up only 2 runs with 11 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks, battling the heat. Delivers the fourth pitch of the at-bat for a ball. Count moving to 3-1. Pitch is delivered, fouled off behind the plate, moving to a full count. Big statement for Caldwell to strike first again like they did last night to allow their team a little bit of run support. The runner goes on the pitch, and it's a hit down the left field line. Rolling over. Hall's rounding third. Hall's coming home. And it's a stand-up double for Combs. South Caldwell is on the board, 1-0 already. It's an RBI double for Combs, dropping down that left field line. George chasing after it. Seems to be a little discussion as Combs walks off of second, goes back to the plate. Looks like they're calling it a foul ball. Coach Casey Justice not excited about that one. Oh, excuse me, it looks like they're calling her out of the box on contact. Had one of those feet were out of the box on the hit, so that's an automatic out for Combs. Combs likes to start with that back foot on the white line. Must have made contact with that foot out of the box. So Combs will be the first out of the inning. Jack Britt has one out, and Hall will be back on first base. Big break for the Buccaneers. Myrtle comes back with the strike one. Sierra Hansen at the plate was 1 for 2 last night with a walk and an RBI. Came into the series hitting .384. Hall's gone on the pitch. Throw gets past Shepard, and Hall slides into second safely. One out, runner on second for South Caldwell. And the pitch. Little inside, good job by McGrath to keep it in front. Count moves to 2-1. Opportunity for Hansen with runner in scoring position. Pitch delivered, fouled off behind the plate. Count now is 2-2. Reagan Wisner stands on deck. He was 2 for 4 last night. And the pitch. Ground ball to Shepard. Shepard throws it over to Fields. She's out. Hall sliding in safely to third on the throw. Moving the runner, Hansen, for the second out. Bringing up Wisner to the plate. Runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Wisner with 7 home runs on the season, 41 RBIs. An opportunity here. And the pitch. Call for a ball low and outside. 1-0. Myrtle was known to get out of jams last night, specifically in the first. She gets hit a lot, Coach says, and Coach Wilson told us, and really relies on that defense. It's a pitch up and away with the swing, moving the counts to ones. Two outs were scoreless in the top of the first with a runner on third. Jammed her on the inside. And it's a foul ball. Myrtle seems to be really working that screwball on right-handed batters, jamming them inside. In the pitch. It's a foul ball straight back. McGrath setting up on the outside part of the plate as Myrtle is ahead in the count, 1-2 on the batter. Looking to throw something a little off the plate. It's another foul ball, straight back. The senior right fielder, Coach Justice told us, is one of his complete hitters, was 2 for 5 in the Western Regional with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. The 1-2 count to the senior. And it's a fly ball to the right side of the field. Fields comes back with the catch. That'll be the third out of the inning. Myrtle getting out of another jam. South Caldwell not able to get one across with a tough break on Combs' swing. We'll come back in the bottom of the first on the NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
All right, this is Adam.
We're back on the NFHS Network here in the bottom of the first as Jack Britt comes up to bat. With the Jack Britt lineup, leading off we have Mackenzie George, followed by Savannah Roddy, Carly Myrtle, Raven Shepard, Cassidy Hardy, McKiley Harris, Alyssa Norton, Kiara Ramos, and Katie McGrath. Coming up to the plate, we have Mackenzie George. Anna King in the circle for the Spartans, delivers the first pitch a little high for ball one. King, a sophomore with a 2.14 ERA, is 14-0 on the season. Delivers another ball two, a little high. King's thrown 95 innings this year, splitting time with Pittman. Has had 125 strikeouts. Looks like it's called ball three, missing a little high. King has totaled 56 walks on the year. Coach Jess is hoping to throw King in game two to have arrested Pittman. King coming in inside for strike one. King gets George on the swing and a miss for strike two, pushing it to a full count. King has a little bigger stature than Pittman, throwing the ball a little bit harder. Delivers the next pitch, foul back. Count remains full. King has developed a changeup this year. He's been able to use it a little bit, but is known for coming high and in on batters. And the pitch. Jammed her. Ground ball to King. Bumps it off. It's a base hit, or it's a reaching on an error for George. King just didn't square up on that one, and it brushed off her glove. Third baseman Green couldn't make the throw in time to save her. So one aboard for the Bucks. That's an error for King to start the game. Now we have Savannah Roddy. Shows to bunt, pulls back. Third baseman batting .449 coming in to this series. Was 1 for 2 last night with a sac bunt and a walk. Looks like she may be sacking again. Corner is playing in with no outs. Squares the bunt, pulls back. The throw back to first. George slides in safe. Count 2-0 to Savannah. Bunt and pull back, that's ball three. Missing a little high again. As McGrath will go up to talk to King. Second batter in a row. She's worked herself to a 3-0 count. In the pitch. Squares to bunt, pulls back again. That's ball four. Roddy will go to first. George will move over to second. No outs. Runners on first and second for the Bucks. And Carly Myrtle coming to bat. The pitcher for the Bucks. And Coach Casey Justice will come out and talk to his Spartans. King having a little trouble finding a groove. Seems to be missing her screwball a little up. These Jack Britt batters being very patient. Pitchers working out of jams last night. Runs were scored for the Buccaneers in the top of the 7th, all 3 of them with a leadoff single. A sac bunt, which actually turned into an errant throw to move some runners over. And then another single down the right field line. With no outs for the Spartans. Carly Myrtle comes to bat. Was 3 for 3 last night, making contact all 3 times with a walk. Takes the first ball just a little inside. King looked like she wanted that one. And the pitch. Missing a little off. King getting a little frustrated. Ball caught a little off the plate. Swing and a foul ball just down the third base line, moving the count to 2-1 for Myrtle. Myrtle squares to bunt, pushes out. Oh, Hanson just can't hang on to it. Pop back to her. Count moves to 2-2. Be a big out for King, as the Spartans have no outs, runners on first and second. And it's a swing and a miss. First strikeout for Anna King. 126th strikeout of the year and first of the game. That brings up Raven Shepherd, shortstop, to the plate. That's a ground ball to third base. Green will step on first, step on third and throw to first for the double play. The Spartans will get out of the inning. King's defense works her out of a jam. We're scoreless in the first. We'll come back in the top of the second. You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on the NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/NCHSAA is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of the NCHSSA Championship action, from live games to full game replays to highlights. It's all here at the NFHSnetwork.com/NCHSAA. We're here in the top of the second as Graceland Green comes to bat for the Spartans. Carly Myrtle still in the circle for the Bucks. We're scoreless as Anna King for the Spartans works herself out of the jam. Second pitch delivered is a strike, moving the count to 1-1 on Green. Green was 0 for 2 last night with a walk, reaching on an error. The senior third baseman is bound for Montreat. once she graduates. And that's a hit. Deep center. Deep center. It's over the head. Green running to second. The ball's bounced off. It's a stand-up leadoff double for Green. The ball just burnt center fielder Harris, hit way over her head, bounced off the wall, back into center field. Was a little bit of a chase. Didn't know if Green was going to try to take third. That brings up Addison Blair, the designated player, to the plate with no outs. And the pitch. It's a foul ball to the right field for strike one. Addison Blair also had a double last night, an RBI double. The freshman came in batting .276 on the season. And that one's going to hit her. Came up and inside on her. Hit her on the arm, it looked like. And now the Spartans have runners on first and second with no outs. Looks like a screwball got away on Myrtle. And that brings up Katie Wright. She squares to bunt, and the bunt's laid down to Myrtle. Myrtle picks up, looking to third, throws it to third. Shortstop Shepard drops it. Not sure if the throw was there in time anyway, but there's no outs and bases loaded for the Spartans. Coach Wilson's going to call time to come talk to her Buccaneers. I'm not sure if you go to third on that when you have no outs, but she was definitely looking for that lead runner. Was going to be a close play over there. Green slid in. And that one's going to go down as a fielder's choice. If everybody's safe. For Katie Wright. Next, that's going to bring up Anna King, the pitcher for the Spartans, who has 1 home run on the season, 11 RBIs. Did not play in last night's contest as Pittman was pitching, but she'll come up to bat for the Spartans right now, trying to help herself with bases loaded and no outs. And the pitch is low and in for ball one. King has 4 doubles on the season, 6 strikeouts and 12 walks. And it's a foul ball straight back for King, moving the count to 1-1. Huge opportunity here for the Spartans in the top of the second with the bases full and no outs. Stranded a Village last night in game 1 of the series. And the pitch. It's a swing and a miss on the outside corner for strike 2. Count moving to 1-2. King having a huge opportunity here to help herself. The 4th pitch of the bat is a ball, a little off the plate, count moving to 2-2. Myrtle really trying to get these batters to chase once she has 2 strikes and is a little ahead. And it's a foul ball straight back. A good at bat by King here. Myrtle trying to mix up the pitches here. Looking like working that drop curve. It's an off-speed pitch that King just got a piece of and fouled off. Count 2-2, bases loaded here for the Spartans. And the pitch. And it's a called strike 3 looking on the inside part of the plate, giving Myrtle out number 1. Huge out for Myrtle. That brings 1 out and Logan Keller to the plate. Excuse me, looks like it's going to be a pinch hitter for Keller. Delaney Parsons. Parsons came up last night with a pinch hit for Keller, the junior. Oh, excuse me, it looks like we have Jenna Pittman, the pitcher from last night. The bases are loaded with 1 out for Pittman as she takes strike 1. Pittman was 0 for 3 last night with a sac bunt and a strikeout. And takes strike 2. Putting herself in the hole, 0-2 to Pittman. Myrtle looking to work out of another jam. Throwing off the plate. Pittman looks at that one for ball 1. It's 1-2 to the junior. Pittman with 1 out, bases loaded. It's a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pittman. Pittman came into the series batting .426 with 18 RBIs. An opportunity for some more. And the pitch. Another foul ball. Pittman keeping herself alive here. And it's 1-2 to Pittman, bases loaded. And that's a hit, ground ball to the shortstop, thrown, and it's a bad throw. McGrath can't handle it, another run will come in. And that's 2 runs for the Spartans. Shepard throws to McGrath. McGrath couldn't handle it. Green scored on a bad throw back home. Blair scored, putting 2 runs up for the Spartans. Pittman's on second. It's like Keller's about to come back in to run for her. And Wright is on third. Runners at second and third for the Spartans. So we're 2-0 South Caldwell in the top of the second. Jasmine Hall, top of the order. She flies out to the third baseman. Flying out to Roddy. Wright coming off of third base, having to dive back. That brings up Sydney Combs to the plate. Combs got the hit down the left field line last inning, but was called out for being out of the box. And she'll swing on that one. It's a ground ball to Shepard for the third out, thrown over to Fields, and they'll get out of that one. South Caldwell doing 2 runs worth of damage, striking first. We'll come back in the bottom of the second as the Bucks look to respond, and you're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
And we're back with the bottom of the second. Bucks looking to respond to South Caldwell's 2 runs they put on the board in the top of the second. Here on the NFHS network. Taking that one for strike 1 is Cassidy Hardy. King getting a little bit of run support there by her teammates. She'll swing on that one, foul ball down third base for strike 2. Hardy 0 for 4 last night, definitely due today with a couple of strikeouts last night. The senior St. Andrews bound and takes that one for ball 2. 2-2 to Hardy. Found herself chasing pitches a little bit last night. Looking to be a little more patient here. And jammed her inside. It's a ground ball to third base. Thrown over to first. Green to right. The 5-3 out will be the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up McKaylee Harris, center fielder, to the plate. And the first pitch is a ball called outside. Harris was 1 for 3 last night with the hit in her first at bat. And that one's a fly ball to center field. Combs gets right under that one for out number 2 of the inning. And that's 2 outs for the Spartans. Now we'll bring up the right fielder, number 1, Alyssa Norton. And she'll swing and a miss for strike 1. Alyssa Norton with a hit last night, 1 for 2 and a sack. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 2 for Anna King. Norton got the hit last night to start the inning off for the Bucks in the top of the 7th. Led to their 3-run inning. And Norton's in a hole. And they say she did. Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout for King to end the inning. Bucks can't seem to respond here. And we'll come back in the top of the 3rd. Looks to do a little more damage. You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
Today's event is also available for all subscribers via our mobile website. Log on to nfhsnetwork.com from your smartphone or tablet and view live games or replays from anywhere. I'm Julia Alsbrook, and we're here in the top of the third as the score is 2-0. South Caldwell leading. Bringing up to bat Sierra Hansen, the catcher, and she takes for ball one. Hansen grounded out to shortstop in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch. Called a little high for ball two. 2-0 for Hansen. Myrtle. And that's a hit. It'll fall right in front of the center fielder. And Hansen's aboard. No outs, runner on first for South Caldwell with the leadoff single. Bringing up Reagan Weisner. Weisner taking the first pitch for a strike. Myrtle starting off with the changeup, off speed. Weisner 0 for 1 on the day. Looked like another off-speed pitch. Line drive to the shortstop. Raven Shepard, for out number one. Hard hit ball by Weisner. A little defensive break there for Myrtle. That ball's a couple feet to the left. That's another base hit. Great play by Raven Shepard. Bringing up Graceland Green. Green doubled her last at bat to dead center. She fouls this one straight back, moving the count to 1-1. The Bucks have one out with a runner on first. Spartans looking to add more to their 2-run lead. And the pitch goes a little high. Runner goes, and she's safe. Hansen sliding safely into second base. And that's her sixth stolen base of the year. 6 for 7 now in stolen bases for Hansen. And Green will take another ball, moving the count to 3-1. With one out and a runner in scoring position, an RBI opportunity here for Green. And the pitch fouled straight back, moving the count to full. In the pitch, a little off speed. Green gets a hold of it just enough to foul it off. The count remains full. Myrtle's off speed seems to be working well for her today, keeping these hitters a little off balance. And it's a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Myrtle. Her second of the day. Huge out for Myrtle. 2 outs for the Bucks. Bringing up the DP, Addison Blair, who was hit by a pitch her last at bat. Blair looks at the first one for a ball. Blair had an RBI double last night. And that's a changeup on the outside part of the plate, just missed. Moving to 2-0. To the designated player. She takes ball 3 on the outside part of the plate. Buccaneers have 2 outs. And that's a strike for Myrtle. 3-1 on Blair. Myrtle looking to get out of this one. And that'll be ball 4 on the outside part of the plate. Wanted her last at bat and was aboard safely due to the fielder's choice. And she grounds to the shortstop. Shepard over to Fields for out number 3. Myrtle and the Bucks work out of that one. We'll come back here in the bottom of the 3rd to look to respond. You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on the NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
We're back here in the bottom of the 3rd. Score still 2-0. South Caldwell winning. Buccaneers looking to put something on the board here as Kiara Ramos, the designated player, comes up to bat. And she'll look at the first one for strike 1. Ramos 0 for 2 last night. A couple of strikeouts. And that's a swing and a miss on the inside part of the plate. Strike number 2 for King. Seems to be very effective on the inside part of that plate today. Pitch number 3 to the Ramos is caught a ball, missing a little up. Not a bad decision by King, getting these hitters 0-2 in the count and then throwing a couple of balls to see if they will chase. And that one will catch the handle of Ramos's bat for a foul ball. And the count's still 1-2 to Ramos. Buccaneers were able to work out of the last inning, giving up no runs, but need to score here. That'll be ball number 2, missing a little high. Most of King's balls today have missed high. Looking for an up pitch for the Buccaneers to chase. And that one's a ground ball to the third baseman, hit off the glove of Green, and Ramos is aboard safely. Green came up to charge that one, bouncing off her glove, and running after it into foul territory. And Ramos will reach on an error. And that'll bring up the catcher, Katie McGrath. And she'll swing at the first pitch, foul that one straight back for strike one. McGrath, the number 9 batter, squares to bunt, pops up to Green. Green catches, throws to first. Ramos slides back safely, but that's 1 out for the Spartans. The throw almost got over the head of Combs over there at first base. Jumped up and saved the throw a little bit. And that's 1 out for the Spartans. And now Mackenzie George, the leadoff batter, will come up. Takes ball 1, up and out.
Back at the top of the order, Mackenzie George.
Mackenzie George will swing at that one on the inside part. Will be just left of third base, a foul ball. One and one. That pitch missing a little bit inside for ball 2 to George. George reached aboard safely her last at bat with an error on King, and that's a hit. And Hall makes the play into shallow left field for out number 2 for the Spartans. Nice play by Hall. We'll bring up the third baseman, Savannah Roddy, who walked her last at bat. And the pitch looks like a little off speed for strike 1 to Roddy. And it's 0-1. Jammed her a little bit inside, over to Green, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. The Spartans get out of that one. The Buccaneers have yet to score. We'll be back in the top of the 4th inning as South Caldwell will be up to bat. You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on the NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
High school sports fans, never miss another game. Become a subscriber to the NFHS Network to watch live event coverage, game replays, and highlights from high school sporting events from across the country. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination. NFHSnetwork.com. High school happens here. We're back here in the top of the 4th as pitcher Anna King will come to the plate, try to help herself. And a little bit of added run support. South Caldwell saw last night 2 runs was not enough. And the sophomore fouls off the first one. Buccaneers struggling to score through 3. And the second pitch, a ball up and out, 1-1 to King. The clouds are moving in here in Dale Stadium, and she'll pop that one right back to Myrtle. Jammed her a little bit on the inside part of the plate for out number 1. That'll bring up left fielder Logan Keller to the plate. First pitch is ball 1 inside. Keller with pitch hit for by Jenna Pittman in the second. This is Keller's first at bat. And she takes ball number 2 on the inside half. Keller 1 for 2 in last night's matchup. Taking strike 1. Count 2-1 to Keller. Keller fouls that one straight back for 2-2. Keller in the 9th spot for this lineup, coming in batting in the 600s. Been rolling this lineup right over, allowing those leadoff batters RBI opportunities. She'll foul the 5th pitch off of this at bat. Count remains 2-2. Infield playing in on the lefty. And she'll swing and a miss on that one. That's a strikeout for Myrtle, her 3rd of the day. 2nd out for Jack Britt, as they're hoping to get back in the dugout here soon and put some runs on the board. That'll bring up leadoff Jasmine Hall. Hall looks at the off speed for strike 1. Hall with 1 for 2 so far, with a hit to shortstop and a fly out. It's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Myrtle finding herself in a groove. Hall in a hole. And that's a pop-up. First baseman Fields will catch that one for out 3 of the inning. Jack Britt in the bottom of the 4th will come up, looking to put some runs on the board. We'll be back, but you're watching live coverage of the NCHSSA Softball Championships on NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches.
We're back at the 4A Softball State Championship Game 2 of the series. I'm Julia Alsbrook. As the Bucks come up in the bottom of the 4th, have yet to put a run on the board. Pitcher Anna King for the Spartans has kept Jack Britt scoreless through 3. Looks to do so through 4, but Carly Myrtle, pitcher, comes up to the plate, looking to help herself a little bit. Myrtle last at bat was a strikeout. Takes the first one. A changeup inside for ball 1. Myrtle with a couple of hits last night. in game 1 of the series. Takes the second ball high and in. Hitters count for Myrtle. And this one will hit her on the arm. Hit by pitch from Myrtle. She'll walk down to first base. Looked like it just missed the Evo shield on that left elbow, hitting the forearm a little bit. Not the pitching arm. But you could hear that one. That'll bring up Raven Shepard. Shepard was a victim of the double play in the first. Couple of sack bunts last night. It's a swing and a miss on the first one for strike 1. And a big swing at that. Shepard looks at that one for ball 1. Shepard was 5 for 6 in the Eastern Regional with 5 RBIs. With no outs. And that one will jam her inside. And shortstop Hall. Jasmine Hall will come up to make the play for the first out of the inning. And the Spartans have 1 down. That brings up Cassidy Hardy, the second baseman. Hardy had a ground out to short in the bottom of the second. Curveball misses out for ball 1 to Hardy. And that's a foul ball to her own dugout for strike number 1. Hardy coming in with great numbers into the series. 427 on the season with 5 home runs and 28 RBIs. The senior had 11 doubles and 3 triples. And that's a swing, high fly ball, just landing outside the left field line. That'll be 1 and 2 for Hardy. Hardy working in on a lot of these batters, trying to jam and or chase. And that one was a foul ball. Anna King with the off speed floats a little up on her for ball 2 to Hardy. Buccaneers looking to get on the board here in the bottom of the 4th. It's another high and in foul ball. Count remains 2 and 2. Definitely seems to be King's go-to pitch, up and in. King looking at her pitching thumb a little bit. In the pitch. And that's another foul ball straight back. Hardy seems to be getting a good look at these inside pitches. Wouldn't be surprised to see King float something off speed out after coming in a couple of times on Hardy. And there's something out, but that's for ball 3, moving Hardy to a full count. The Spartans have 1 out with Myrtle on first. And an opportunity for Hardy to put herself on. She'll foul off that one again. into her own dugout.
One out for the Lady Buccaneers. They have a runner at first base, Carly Wood. Cassidy Wood is out. Second base.
The 8th or 9th pitch here to Hardy. And the pitch takes for a ball outside, just missing. That'll put Hardy on first. Myrtle will move over to second. Runners on first and second for the Buccaneers with 1 out. Bringing up the center fielder, Harris. McKiley Harris. And she'll foul that one straight back. Harris seeing the ball very well during this series. Had a hit yesterday, only 1 hit, but was making contact with the ball very well. There's 1 out. Throws the off speed. Harris wanted it. Looks like she held back, and they're going to say she did. That'll be the first ball on Harris, moving the count to 1-1. And that one fouled straight back for strike number 2. King consistently working on the inside part of the plate to these Jack Britt batters. Harris flew out to center her last at bat. And that's a fly ball to left. And Keller will make the play on that one for out number 2 of the inning. Harris continues to make contact but can't get anything to fall. The Spartans have 2 outs. And that'll bring Alyssa Norton, the right fielder, to the plate, who's a strikeout victim of King in the second. Looks at the first one for a ball. Norton with an opportunity with 2 outs. That one missing in. Almost grazing Norton with the 2-0 count. Norton trying to help the Bucks get on the board. And she'll foul that one off for strike 1. And Norton with a 2-1 count. Wanted that one, held back and caught a ball. South Caldwell fan base not happy on that call, but that moves the count to 3-1 to Norton. The pitch is fouled straight back, moving the count to full. Full count with 2 outs. Runners are moving on the pitch. On deck is Kiara Ramos, who reached on an error in the bottom of the 3rd. Norton with an opportunity to load the bases for the Buccaneers with either a walk or base hit. But it's a swing and a miss. It's a strikeout for Anna King. Her second of the day to end the inning. Anna King works out of another jam, leaving the Buccaneers scoreless through 4. We'll be back in the top of the 5th as the Spartans look to do a little more damage. You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
We're back in the top of the fifth at Dale Stadium in the second game of the series between Jack Britt and South Caldwell. Caldwell leading 2-0 as clouds move in over Dale Stadium, bringing Sydney Combs, the second baseman, up to bat. Combs was called out of the box on her first hit down left field line that led to an out. And also has a ground out, so 0 for 2 on the day. It's Combs. And she takes ball one. And that's a ground ball to the left side. Bouncing off the glove of Shepard. Third baseman Roddy dived and couldn't get it either. And Combs is on. Not sure if they'll rule that one an error or a hit. Give her a hit on it. Combs on the left side of the plate, quickly down the line, bringing up Sierra Hansen. And she looks at ball one. Hansen had a hit to center in the top of the third. And she looks at ball two. 2-0 to Hansen. And Coach Wilson will call time and go out and talk to her freshman pitcher, Myrtle. Myrtle's been known to work out of jams, but you can imagine Coach Wilson wants no more than 2 runs on the board for the Spartans, as time is running out here in the top of the fifth. In last night's game, all the damage was done in the top of the seventh for Jack Britt. Starting with a leadoff single, what was supposed to be a sac bunt to move her over, and an errant throw moved runners to second and third. And it was a single that put the first run on the board, scoring 3 for the Buccaneers in the top of the seventh. Hansen is the freshman catcher who has been solid for them behind the plate all year, with 6 home runs on the season and 39 RBIs. We're no outs here in the top of the fifth. And that's a hit, a line drive back to Myrtle. She drops it but throws it to first for the out. A hard hit by Hansen, moving the runner to second. Myrtle was lucky to get a hand up on that one. A bullet hit right back at her, hit right in her glove, popped right out, still able to make the play. That moved over Combs to second, and now we have Weisner. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. Weisner with the line drive out in the top of the third. She's seeing the ball well. One out for the Spartans. And she'll swing at that one. That's a blooper. It'll fall in left. Justice sending her. And they cut off the throw. The throw is cut off. Combs is in safely, and Weisner stand-up double. It's an RBI double for Weisner. Just a little blooper, as Mackenzie George was playing just a little too deep. Came in, and the quick lefty Combs picked up the signal, rounded third, came right in. It looks like Myrtle was the one who cut off the throw before it had an opportunity to get to McGrath. So now we've got 3-0. Graceland Green is up to bat. She'll look at ball one on the outside part of the plate. Green looks at the second pitch for a ball. Excuse me, the first one was a strike. The count is 1-1 to Green. With one out. And that's 2-1 to Green. Weisner is on second. Green up to bat. Her last at bat was a strikeout in the top of the third. And that's a fly ball in the air to left field. Caught by Mackenzie George for out number 2 of the inning. And that'll bring up Addison Blair, the designated player. Blair with a walk and a hit by pitch takes ball number 1. Blair looking to continue to get aboard in her third at bat with 2 outs. That's a little off speed that Blair fouls off down the third baseline. Little out in front of that one for strike 1. The Spartans lead 3-0 in the top of the 5th with 2 outs. And that one will be ball 2 to Blair, missing a little low. It's a nice spot by Myrtle. Myrtle looking to get out of this one and get her team back in the dugout as time winds down. And that's strike 2, curveball for Myrtle, moving the count to 2-2. 2 outs for the Bucks. Myrtle looking to get out of this one. An off speed gets her looking. Myrtle with a strikeout to end the inning against Blair. Her 4th strikeout of the game. The Bucks will go back at it here in the bottom of the 5th to look to finally put some runs on the board and finally get a strike. You're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on the NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coach?
We're back here in the bottom of the 5th as Kiara Ramos comes to bat for Jack Britt, who takes ball 1 on the inside half of the plate. Buccaneers running out of time here in the bottom of the 5th. Ramos reaching on an error in the 3rd. Takes ball number 2. 2-0 to the designated player. King has held this offense quiet here through 4 total innings and throws a strike here to Ramos, moving the count to 2-1. And the curveball comes in for strike number 2 to Ramos, moving the count to 2-2. Great pitch delivered by King. Comes back at it again, gets her swinging for the strikeout. Fourth strikeout of the day for King. And that'll bring up the catcher, Katie McGrath, to the plate. Sticking with that curveball right now as she's thrown it 3 times in a row for a strike. Strike number 1 to McGrath. Stays on the outside part of the plate. McGrath fouls that one straight back for strike number 2. Oh and 2 to McGrath. The pitch is up, gets McGrath swinging. It's another strikeout for King, number 5 on the day. That brings up the leadoff batter, Mackenzie George, left fielder. She looks at that first curveball again for a strike. King has been effectively working in and out, in and out. Curveball misses this time, 1-1 to George. George reached on an error in the first and flew out to short in the bottom of the third. It's 0 for 2 today. Looking to get on base for the Bucks. The count 2-1 to George. Looks at ball 3 on the outside part of the plate. And the pitch inside, called for a strike. Count moves to full. 2 outs for the Spartans. King looking to get her team back in the dugout. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop. Hard hit, recovers. The throw's in the dirt. The pick by Wright for out number 3 of the inning. Great play by the first baseman, Katie Wright, to get out of that inning. The Bucks are still scoreless through 5 as the Spartans will come up in the top of the 6th. And we'll be right back, but you're watching live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on NFHS Network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
We're back in the top of the 6th. South Caldwell's Katie Wright will come to bat after the great pick over at first base to end the 5th inning. South Caldwell has 4 hits on the day. And Wright looks at ball 1. Score 3-0 here in the top of the 6th. Each team with a pair of errors. And that's a hit. That one will land in right center. Good angle taken by Norton. Allows Wright to only 1 base. The leadoff batter is aboard for Caldwell. It's a single for Wright. And that'll bring up, was going to be Anna King. But we have a pinch hitter, Delaney Parsons, who came in last night to pinch hit and was successful. Parsons looking for another.
Now batting number 10, Delaney Parsons.
So Delaney Parsons up to bat. The junior. 3 RBIs on the season. Looks at the off speed for ball 1. King will have to re-enter when we come back in the bottom of the 6th. Parsons looks like she wanted that one. Waves at it a little bit for strike 1. 1-1 to the junior. Myrtle looking for an out. Parsons squares to bunt, fouls that one back for strike 2. Coach Justice looking to move right over to second on that sac bunt. Parsons just couldn't get all the ball there. 1-2 to Parsons. Off speed on the right side. Parson pokes it. Hardy fumbles it a little bit, has to make the play at first. Parsons does her job, just as if it was a sac bunt, moving right over to second. The Spartans have 1 out with runner second, and it's Logan Keller up to bat.
Number 1, Logan Keller.
Keller looks at the first ball low and outside. It was a strikeout victim of Myrtle's in the top of the 4th and was pinch hit for in the top of the 2nd by Pittman. Keller looks at the first strike in the outer half of the plate. The lefty has the corners looking to play in on her. Squares to bunt, drops that one down. Third baseman picked up, throws to first, she's out. Keller almost beat out the bunt. A nice play by Roddy over to Fields for out number 2 of the inning. And Wright is moved over to third. We cycle the top of the lineup now, where leadoff batter Jasmine Hall is up with 2 outs and a runner on third. Hall flew out in the top of the 4th, reached on an error in the 1st. She looks at ball 1. Spartans trying to add to the 3-run lead here in the top of the 6th. Hall looks at ball 2. It's like an off-speed curveball there for Myrtle. Two-0. Called a strike on Hall. Looked a little high, but it's 2-1 to the freshman. And she'll look at that one for the second strike, moving to 2-2. Hall 2 for 3 last night. It's 24 RBIs on the season. An opportunity to make it 25. That's a ground ball to the second baseman. Throw to first, good grab by Fields for out number 3 of the inning. The Bucks will have 2 more opportunities to score as they're down by 3. We'll be back in the bottom of the 6th. on the NFHS network.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
We're back in the bottom of the sixth of your 4A softball state championship, game 2 of the series. Jack Britt, leading one game, is down by 3 here in the bottom of the sixth as Savannah Roddy comes up to bat. The Buccaneers with only 2 more opportunities here to score. As Kathy Maurer is behind the plate for us today. First pitch, a bunting attempt by Roddy. Probably a sneak bunt there as she stands on the right side half of the plate for strike 1. Anna King, kept this offense for Jack Britt quiet through 5 full innings, and she delivers ball 1 to Roddy. King came in today with 125 strikeouts on the year and has added 5 more to that total today. King and Pittman have split time this year for the Spartans. We have Mackenzie George for Jack Britt warming up right now as King delivers ball 2, 2-1 to Roddy. Roddy looks at strike 2, 2-2. Two and two to the senior, who's known to be a contact hitter for the Buccaneers. And the pitch. Gets her swaving at a curveball on the outside half of the plate for strikeout number 6 of the game for Anna King.
Number 15, Carly Myrtle.
That brings up pitcher Carly Myrtle. Try to help herself and do some damage. Hit by an off-speed pitch. The second time she's been hit by a pitch this game. That one a slow roller in the dirt. So Myrtle will find herself aboard again. A courtesy runner coming in for Myrtle. Number 12, Skylar Owens, the freshman who saw some running time last night as well, will move over to first.
Number 3, Reagan Shepard.
That brings up number 3, Reagan Shepard, to the plate. The shortstop flew out to short in the 4th and grounded out in the 1st. Shepard looks at the first one for ball 1. One and 0, and that one's popped up. Third baseman calls it, drops it, has to throw it to second to get Owens out running to second. Was in her glove completely and then just fell right out. Owens had no other choice but to remain close to the bag and ended up being out by a lot when the throw eventually made it to second. That's 2 outs now. For the Spartans, bringing up Cassidy Hardy, the second baseman. And that's strike 1. The throw from Green actually went to Combs, the second baseman, who wasn't covering second. It was Hall, the shortstop, on second. So Combs had to go over and touch the bag on that one. Hardy up for the Bucks with 2 outs. Throw back to first. Shepard dives in safely. Two outs for the Buccaneers. It's the bottom of the 6th as opportunities are leaving. And that one's a foul ball in the inner half of the plate, will come straight back for strike 2. One and 2 pitch coming to Hardy. That one will miss high for ball 2. King, only a sophomore for the Spartans, has been in control of this one today as it's 2 and 2. And that curveball misses. I don't know if it did miss. It's a called ball. Full count on the batter. Brushes the outside corner. The count is now full to Hardy. Shepard running on the pitch with 2 outs and a full count. And that one is a hard shot foul down the third baseline. Hardy was all over that one. Buccaneers running out of opportunities here in the bottom of the 6th. McKiley Harris on deck, the center fielder, who's been seeing the ball well in today's matchup and yesterday's. And that's a called ball. Curveball barely misses on the outside part of the plate. And Hardy will draw the walk, moving to first, moving Shepard to second. Runners on first and second for the Buccaneers, bringing up Harris. One runner here in scoring position for the Bucks with 2 outs. Harris, a freshman, and has kind of grown her way into center field, coach says. Looks at the first strike on the outside half of the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Harris was 3 for 5 in the Eastern Regional with 3 RBIs. Looks at the second called strike on the outside half of the plate. Harris now in a hole, 0-2. And gets her to wave at that one. It's a strikeout swinging for King. King with the 7th strikeout of the game gets McKiley Harris waving at the curveball on the outside half of the plate. We'll move to the top of the 7th when we come back, as South Caldwell will look to add to their 3-0 lead. You're watching live coverage on the NFHS Network.
On Facebook as North Carolina High School Athletic Association, on Twitter
Welcome back to Game 2 of the 4A Softball State Championship Series. We're in the top of the 7th with Jack Britt on defense and South Caldwell up to bat. Jack Britt has now changed pitchers for the top of the 7th as Mackenzie George comes in to pitch for the Buccaneers. And that's a ground ball by Sydney Combs over to third baseman Roddy. And that'll be the first out for George. Now Sierra Hansen comes to bat. George with one out already. Has not seen a lot of time this year with dominant pitcher Myrtle. And Hansen will watch that one for ball 1. Myrtle's thrown all the innings for Jack Britt except 25. So other pitchers have not seen much time on the mound. And George will throw that one for a strike, count 1-1. It's a hot one out here in Dale Stadium as Myrtle may be a little tired. And that's a hard ground ball to shortstop. Great play by Shepard over to first, and that'll be the second out of the inning. A backhand by Shepard deep in the hole will retire Hansen, bringing up Reagan Weisner.
Number 14, Reagan Whitener.
George coming in here and getting a quick 2 outs for the Buccaneers. Bringing up Reagan Weisner. Who doubled in the top of the 5th with an RBI. She looks at the first one inside for strike 1. There's 2 outs for the Bucs, looking to take a stab at their last opportunity to get on the board in the bottom of the 7th. A win by South Caldwell will push this one into a Game 3 that'll start at 5 o'clock. And that's a hard hit to right for Weisner. Norton able to get under it, and that's out number 3. George retires the first 3 she sees. And now it's the final opportunity for the Buccaneers here in the bottom of the 7th to work back. You're watching live coverage on NFHS Network. We'll be right back. We're back here in the bottom of the 7th as the score remains 3-0. South Caldwell in the lead. Jack Britt is coming up with their final opportunity to score in this one as they'll come up with 7, 8, 9. Norton, Ramos, and McGrath to try to work on and push 3 runs across. South Caldwell wins this game. There will be a Game 3 today. Join us at 5 o'clock for that one. Anna King still on the mound for South Caldwell. She's 14-0 on the season and is 3 outs away from 15-0. As Alyssa Norton comes to bat. Norton will look at the first pitch for a ball. Norton with a couple of strikeouts against King. And that's a swing and a foul ball straight back for strike one. 1-1 to Norton. Norton was 1 for 2 last night with the sack. Her first hit last night since being 0-5 in the regional. Just needs to get a board here for the Bucks. Curveball missing a little high for King. That's ball 2 to Norton. It was the 7th inning where the Spartans got a little rattled last night. Really looking for some 7th inning composure right here from King. And that one will miss inside for ball 3. Norton 3-1. In the pitch. And that's a hard hit. A long foul ball here for Norton will land outside the field. Moving the count to 3-2. Was able to get her hands on the inside part of that screwball. Exactly what she needs to do if she sees it again. Full count here to Norton. And the pitch is called strike 3. Norton looked like she wanted it. Didn't commit. That's the 8th strikeout of the game for Anna King. A big first out here for the Spartans will bring up the designated player Kiara Ramos for the Bucks. And that'll be a strike 1 here to and a swing and a miss. Abigail Johnson is actually pinch hitting here for Ramos. Finding herself in a hole, 0-2. Looks at ball 1 on the outside part of the plate. 1-2 here for Johnson. South Caldwell 2 outs away from forcing a game 3 with us today in a winner-take-all. A swing and a miss. Gets her swinging. Strikeout number 9 for Anna King. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. South Caldwell is 1 out away from forcing that game 3 as the catcher Katie McGrath comes up and delivers a strike 1 from King. South Caldwell fans are on their feet. Catcher Katie McGrath up for the Bucks. Swing and a miss for strike 2. McGrath finding herself in a hole. Anna King working ahead on all of the batters here in the bottom of the 7th. Can imagine something out and off speed. And it's out, but it's called for a ball. 1-2 to McGrath. McGrath, the strikeout victim here in the bottom of the 5th, has 1-2. A swing and a miss for strike 3. The Spartans win. Anna King with the no-hitter for South Caldwell, forcing a game 3 today at 5 o'clock. King getting 10 strikeouts on the day and keeping the Buccaneer lineup completely quiet. Game 3 will be with us at 5 o'clock tonight. Here with live coverage of the NCHSAA Softball Championships on NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/NCHSAA is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of the NCHS AA championship action. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all there at nfhsnetwork.com/NCHSAA. Well, there you have it, folks. 3-0 in a Game 2 series win by South Caldwell. Recorded 5 hits on the day. Both teams with a pair of errors. Game 5 will be at 5 o'clock today. With King already thrown for the Spartans, we can expect Pittman in Game 3, and a good chance of us seeing both Myrtle and George at 5 o'clock today for the Buccaneers. Join us today at 5 o'clock for Game 3 of the 4A State Championship Softball Series.